So Max Verstappen is doing the best he can really in that Red Bull car at the moment. He's not that far off the championship leader Lando Norris after beating him in the sprint race in Shanghai. But of course the McLarens do look the class of the field, and nobody's going to doubt the fact that Red Bull very much have ground to make up if they're to try and get a drivers' championship challenger. They have a lot of ground to make up if they can even consider competing with Mercedes and also McLaren in the Constructors' Championship too, because Red Bull are in third. And don't underestimate Ferrari. When they get their act together, when they get a car that's actually legal and able to finish the race without getting disqualified, they will be up there too. They will overtake Red Bull. I would say Red Bull, they're heading for fourth in the Constructors at the moment. I really do think that. I can genuinely see Max Verstappen getting second or third in the drivers, but, I don't think they've got a hope in hell of beating, their three competitors there in the Constructors at the moment, unless things improve. And they do have a big upgrade package that is coming to Japan in a couple of weeks' time. A kind of, maybe a last hurrah. It's definitely a big gamble by them, but it could pay off. But Max Verstappen, I think he was meant to have a little break after China, after the back-to-back opening weekends of Australia and China to start the 2025 season. But instead, he has cut this break short to go back to Red Bull, go back to the lovely city. Is it a city? I think it's a city of Milton Keynes here in England. And I've been to Milton Keynes. It's not the nicest place, not the worst place, don't get me wrong, but it's not the nicest place. But anyway, Red Bull's factory's there. He's gone back to help him out. Let's have a look at the full story on the F1Chronicle.com. As always, Max Verstappen will shorten his time at home this week in order to collaborate with engineers and team management amid Red Bull's current crisis. Liam Lawson potentially losing his seat is grabbing the headlines, but the core problem is not only how difficult the RB21 is to drive, but that, according to Verstappen, it is slower than the McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes. And I can believe that. Team advisor Dr. Helmut Marko indicated as he left Shanghai that urgent upgrades will be needed to fast forward the development of the car ahead of Suzuka. A quick fix like that, if it works out, would be great, but we can't rely on it, said the 81-year-old Austrian. Quadruple world champion Verstappen is also unsure. It's difficult to say when things will get better, said the Dutchman, hopefully in Japan, of course. Marko flagged a key meeting in Milton Keynes this week, and it emerged that the 27-year-old Verstappen will be there as well. Max will come to the factory and discuss the weaknesses, Marko confirmed. That is despite the driver's original plans to be at home in Monaco with his heavily pregnant girlfriend Kelly Piquet. Reportedly, a plane will be on hand in the event that he needs to urgently return if Kelly goes into labour. Marko isn't worried the birth of Max's child will have to his focus though. Well, good to know. Good to know he's really got his best interests at heart there, Marko. He's great at that. He's very empathetic, as we found out recently. It won't bother him, he told Österreich newspaper. The race and the World Championship are absolutely his priority. Oh, Marko. Does Marko have kids? Is Marko a dad? I don't know, actually. I'd be surprised if he is, put it that way, with the way he talks about people. Empathy is not his strong suit. It really isn't. First of all, I didn't realise quite how heavily pregnant Kelly Piquet was. I didn't realise the time was coming in terms of baby arriving. I hope that all goes as smoothly as possible. I hope everything's all right with them, and best of luck with that. Hope all three of them are going to be well through that. Wonderful news, really. I didn't realise it was this close. I thought it was a few months away, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, on the F1 side of things, the main priority for Max Verstappen, according to Marko, which it really shouldn't be. Being your dad is number one, 100%. I don't care if you're Max Verstappen or working down at the factory. Being a parent and being a good dad is your number one priority as the man of the household, 100%. But anyway, let's get away from that. Let's talk about the F1 stuff, which is what you guys tuned in for at the end of the day. I mean, look, I literally just did a video before this going over how much Lawson is struggling and, what they need to do to improve. And I'm just going to echo what I said in that, really. The car is clearly on a knife edge, and it has been for a long time, ever since like Monaco Monaco really was the start of that last year, and this year has very much continued that trend. Red Bull said they were going to widen the usable window of the car, make it easier to drive, but if anything, the RB21 is tougher to drive, markedly so, I would argue, than the RB20. You can put some of that down to a skill issue with Sergio Perez last year, but I really think that thing was a terrible car to drive unless you're Max Verstappen. And I'm not saying that Red Bull are putting their eggs in the Max Verstappen basket, for lack of a better term. I mean, we're getting close towards Easter, you know. We could be doing an Easter egg hunt. I mean, you never know. He might do it with his baby when he arrives before then. But you know, at the end of the day, they have to focus on the guy that is going to win the world championships, you know. And Liam Lawson's not that guy. Not yet. He might well be a world championship contending driver one day, but the guy's a rookie. You know, he's not on Max's level, and in truth, barely anybody is. And it's arguable that nobody else is on the grid. You could argue that. You could definitely argue that. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but I know a lot of people that would. So, you know, the car is going to be more suited to Verstappen. They need to get 2 drivers being competitive with that car to actually, you know, get something in the constructors, because at the moment, I think they're heading for 4th. I really do. But yeah, your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Can a miracle happen in Japan, in the land of the rising sun? Can Lawson get some points? Can he return to form around a track that he does know from other series? I'm not sure if he's competed in Formula 1 around there, but I know he's competed in Super Formula around there before. So he knows the track well. And he'd never driven around Albert Park or Shanghai before, so maybe a more familiar track will help him. You would like to think so. Your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see some more news on the world of Formula 1 just like this, guys. And yeah, have a fantastic week ahead. See you very soon. And let's hope for some better form from, in particular, Liam Lawson in a couple weeks' time around Suzuka, Japan.